Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a review tutorial on this eye look right here and also swatches on the new Smoke Sessions palette by Melt Cosmetics. And here is what the palette is looking like. It's so beautiful. I was gravitated towards these colors over here, and yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I do upload 3 times a week on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so definitely subscribe so you don't miss out. And then I do also have a giveaway, international holiday giveaway, so if you guys are interested in entering my giveaway, it will be linked down below. So if you want to see how I created this look, see my thoughts, see swatches as well, just continue watching. Palette does retail for $48. You do get 8 shadows in this palette, so you get like green shades and like goldy brown tone shades. This is inspired by cannabis or MJ. I don't smoke weed. I've never smoked weed, and I do not know what a lot of these terms in here mean. I'm sure it's something to do with weed. I'm just here for the makeup, so I picked this up because I was gravitated towards the shades in here, especially the ones that are over here. So I just picked this up because of the makeup, not because of the meaning of what it was, which everybody has different reasons why they picked up this palette, but I'm just here to review the makeup, not the meaning behind the palette. So when you do get the palette, you do get it in this box right here, which is it just says Smoke Sessions, Melt Cosmetics, and in the back you don't really get anything on there. And I did see this little piece of paper that came inside of the box, and it just again says Smoke Sessions eyeshadow, and it has an ingredient. Net weight is 0.58 ounces, and it just tells you meltcosmetics.com, and it's made in the USA. And then you do get cardboard packaging. You do also get a little protective sheet right here as well. You do get a pretty nice size mirror as well, and then there's 8 shades here. First impressions when I got this is that they were really packed to like higher than the palette. It just felt like they were a little overfilled, but I ain't complaining getting more product in my shadow. I also did notice when I was packing, when I did this eye off of camera, you can't really dip your flat shader brush in there to try to pack on, because usually we try to pack on the shimmer shade onto the brush, but it kind of like scrapes it off and you kind of get a lot of fallout. So you really need to be careful with that. And then the matte shades are very pigmented. I do notice from the Gemini palette and also 27, I do have both. They're really pigmented, so you do need to be careful when putting your brush in there and like dipping your brush in there and then applying it, because a little bit goes a really long way. You guys will see in my demo how pigmented the matte shades are. Like again, you barely dip your brush in there, you have a lot of product in your brush. I do wish that this palette did have more matte shades in here, just because I feel like I can't really create a full, you could create a full look using just this palette kind of, but just using these 2 mattes. But I did go in with the Gemini palette to, if you see like a yellowy color right there, I did go in with Gemini and I took this shade right here. When I did get this, I did also find that this was a little powdery. I feel like the mattes in here are more powdery than the matte that are in here. Still, I like the formula of Melt Cosmetics, and I do love the shimmer shades. They're very intense, highly pigmented, and I've really just been enjoying the palette so far. So I do feel like you could use this palette to create a look, but again, I did use the Gemini palette, and I also took another palette to kind of highlight my brow bone. Usually when we travel, I don't usually just take 1 palette with me. I take about 2 palettes with me when I travel. So I feel like I wouldn't really have an issue because I don't have like another matte shade in here and a highlighting brow bone. But I do prefer having like everything I need in a palette. But again, I do wish that we did have at least like another matte shade, a couple more matte shades, just again because we have 8 colors in here, only 2 of them are matte. So we're just gonna go ahead and swatch all of these shadows right here. So I'm gonna go in with Gravity OG, and it's very, very pigmented, and I'm just going to swatch it right there, and it's very beautiful. I really like this color, it's very pretty. The next shade right here is called Granddaddy, and I'm just going like up and down like 3 times. And here is that. Ooh, that one's more smoother than this shade was. Look how intense that shadow is. It's very, very pretty. Next up is Black Widow. And this one smudges pretty smoothly as well. Next shade here is Sour Diesel, so it's the first like matte shade. And here's that. I really like the two matte shades in here. They're really pretty and unique shades. This one's called Space Queen. Next up is called Mean Green. And look how pretty that is. This one's pretty smooth. Next up in here is called Sweet Tooth. This one's the one that I have on my lids. Ooh, this one is a little more crumbly than the other shades. So just again, this is the one I packed on my lids, and I felt like when I put my brush in there, I just felt like I was dipping in. They're like really creamy, so just be careful with that color. And then the last color is the shade called Blue Dream. And this one is pretty as well. I'm going to try to pack on that Blue Dream again because I feel like it's not as intense as the others are. But there you go. Here are all the shades that are in the Smoke Sessions palette. This is not a palette that's going to be like an everyday palette for me, of course. I do feel like it's a very beautiful palette, and I could definitely incorporate some of these shimmer shades with like my Gemini palette, which Gemini actually comes with more matte shades than shimmer shades, as you can see here. And then I also do have the 27 palette as well. So here's the 27 palette by Melt Cosmetics as well. As you can see, it's mostly matte shades, it's not shimmer shades. So this is more of wearable colors that I could pair that Smoke Sessions palette with, just because these two palettes don't have like a lot of shimmers in it. So I feel like it's a really good companion palette, mostly more for Gemini because it has more of those green colors. So overall, I am happy with this palette. I love the pigmentation is obviously there. Just note that a little bit goes a very long way, so be careful when dipping your brushes in the palette. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you guys want to see how I created this eye look, just continue watching. So my eyelid is primed and set as well. I did go with two shadows that aren't in the Smoke Sessions palette. The first shadow that I did take was from the Gemini palette, and it was just this color right here, which is called Mochi, I'm not sure. But I just took a fluffy blending brush and applied this into my crease. The Smoke Sessions palette only comes with two matte shades. I do find that these shades are a bit powdery, and also even the shimmer shades, a little bit goes a long way. You can't really dip your brush in there because you get a lot of pigmentation. Just as you can see on the shade that I'm using right now, there's a lot of kickback, and I'm just kind of dipping my brush in there, and you can see the brush is coated. So just be careful with these shadows because, again, a little bit does go a long way. So now I'm going to go in with the Smoke Sessions palette, and I'm going to be taking this shade called Sour Diesel. It's like an olivey brown color. And I'm just going to take another fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M535 brush. And again, going very lightly. I do find that this one doesn't have as much kickback as that Mochi shade did, but you'll see that this brush is coated with product. So again, just go very lightly with these shadows. They're very, very pigmented. So now what I'm going to do is take a brush like this. This is the Morphe M506 brush. And I'm going to go in with the shade called Space Queen, the dark tealish green color. And again, going really lightly. This ones don't seem to be as crazily fallout-ish like the Mochi one was from Gemini. But it's still, again, go very light-handed because it is pretty pigmented. And I'm tapping off the excess just because I don't want all that excess falling onto the face since my foundation is done. Oh, and I'm going to be applying this in my outer and inner corners to create a halo eye. Now what I'm going to be doing is taking a flat shader brush. This is by BH Cosmetics from their Marble collection. And I'm going to take this shade called Sweet Tooth. And I'm just going to pack it onto my brush. I did do the mistake when I did this eye where I was kind of like scraping the shadow. Because that's what you usually do when you want to pack on a shadow. But these are like extra creamy where you have to just go really lightly. Because as you can see there, my barrel is kind of dipping into it, so it's scraping some of it, so you just gotta be very careful. And I did spray my brush with a little bit of this Smashbox spray here, and I'm just going to be applying this in the center part of my lid. Look how pretty this is. And I'm just applying this color like in the center part of this, of my eye, because I'm going to be applying another shade like over here to kind of blend the shadows together. So now what I'm going to do is I took this little brush right here that we got in our BoxyCharm. It's a Luxie brush. It's a mini round brush, 141 brush. And I went in with this shade called Mean Green. And again, went very lightly in it and tap off any excess. And I'm just going to be applying it on the edges over here and in here, again, to blend everything together. So on this, I felt like it looked kind of, I don't know, weird right here in the crease. So what I did was take that same Morphe M506 brush and went in with Space Queen, the tip of the brush, and then kind of connected it all just to kind of close off this halo eye, and so it doesn't look so empty like in the center part. And again, I'm going really lightly. And then the other shade that I took from a different palette was from Meet Matrimony. And I just took the lightest shade that's in this palette just to highlight my brow bone. Just because, again, Smoke Sessions doesn't have a shade to highlight your brow bone. But I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So this eye look up here is pretty much done. I'm just going to line my lids with the Epic Ink Liner by NYX. And then I'm going to be applying some lashes, which are going to be the Cocoa lashes in the style Monroe. They're just kind of full lashes there. And then for mascara, I'm going to take the Essence Volume Stylist Curl and Hold Mascara. So I'm going to do all those off of camera, and I'll be right back to finish off the lower lash line with you guys. So off of camera, I did line my waterline, the lower lash line, and also the upper lash line. And I just took the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil in the shade Perversion. So now what I'm going to be taking, again, the M506 brush by Morphe and going in with the shade called Space Queen. And again, going really light-handed and just applying this really precisely by my lash line. Actually, I took a pencil brush first to kind of really pack it closely there. And then I went in with that Morphe brush and just blended it out. And then I took this brush right here. This is a Coastal Scents brush. It's just like a really small, precise brush. And I went in with the shade called Blue Dream, and I applied this in my inner corner. And I am going to peck my brush a little bit and then also spray it because I want it to be a little more intense than what it is. So this is the final look. If you're wondering what's on my lips, I didn't even look at the lippies. I just got on the site and ordered the Smoke Sessions palette and checked out, but then I saw somebody had a like dark green lipstick on, which was part of this collection, and I kind of regret not getting it, but I do have this, which is the Kiss Celeste Matte Liquid lipstick in the shade Wicked Forest. So this is a good alternative. This is very affordable, under $10 I believe, and the other one was close to 20, so I'm glad I did have this in my collection. But I hope you guys enjoyed this review, swatches, and also tutorial on this look right here. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!